This is Andrea Coleman, and I use the memorization model of teaching to create a lesson for heat transfer, which deals with conduction, convection, and radiation. The lesson objectives include that the learner will be able to explain and provide examples of conduction, convection, and radiation. The learner will be able to visualize the processes of conduction, convection, and radiation by creating an interactive image of each process using the app ThingLink. Using their created interactive images as a guide, the learner will also be able to identify other example images as exhibiting conduction, convection, and radiation. The materials that are needed for this lesson include a whiteboard, smartboard, or projector, pen or pencil, an iPad, laptop, or computer with a ThingLink app loaded on it, and the types of heat transfer worksheets. In lesson components, we start with Phase 1, attending to the material. In Phase 1, the teacher introduces students to the following information. So for example, the information I would introduce to my students would include the types of thermal energy transfer, which are conduction, convection, and radiation. And then for each type, I included a definition or description and an example. So in the first example, which is conduction, it's the process by which heat or electricity is directly transmitted between two parts of a stationary system caused by a temperature difference between the parts. The first example I gave students was holding M&Ms in their hand. This causes them to melt because the heat from your hand is transferred to the M&M. The second example is that heat will transfer from a hot burner on the stove into a pot or pan. So this is a great example to use for students because it's something that everyone does, everyone cooks, so it's something that they can relate to. In Phase 2, developing connections, the teacher makes the presented material more familiar by linking each concept to example images. So for conduction, convection, and radiation, I included an example image for each. For conduction, I included a picture of a pot on our stove. Convection is a picture of a radiator, and this is convection because it's transmitted through the air. Then for radiation, we have different types of waves. So radio waves, microwaves, heat radiation, and infrared radiation. Phase 3, expanding sensory images. The students are now going to take out their iPads and find the following items for each type of heat transfer. So they're going to find 3 images, 2 videos, and 1 sound clip or song for each type of heat transfer. They are then going to use their images, videos, and sounds or song clips to create an interactive visualization of conduction, convection, and radiation using the app ThingLink. So ThingLink is a really great app where you can upload an image and add things to it like videos or other pictures or anything you can find online pretty much. So you'd hit create and then you can drag or drop images here, upload them from your hard drive, web address, Facebook. There's lots of different options for finding images. So I already have an image on my desktop, and you just drag it there. Then it automatically loads it, my interactive image. So for this one, I would put radiation. And then over here is where you find your content. So for example, if I search for microwaves, it comes up with a whole list of different information. So there are videos, there's some songs that are on YouTube as well that will come up. So this looks interesting. 10 things you didn't know your microwave could do. So you could add that. So it's automatically going to load it onto the image with this little symbol. And then you can include a text, microwaves, save the tag. And then right here is where it would be. So if you click on it, it pops up. Then once you go to save your image, after you get your other videos and images and songs loaded on here, you would save it. and then it would save all those things on there. So you can go back and click on each and it'll play the video, it'll play the song, you'll be able to view the image. So once students create their interactive visualization using the app, they're going to go and use their creation as a memory aid to practice recalling the concepts of conduction, convection, and radiation in the assessment activity listed below. In this worksheet, students must create their own definitions of each of the 3 types of heat transfer and identify various pictures and written descriptions of conduction, convection, and radiation. So basically, students are using their creation as a memory aid or a tool to help them recall that information, and then they're going to apply it to practicing that information on the worksheets.